Among the few places left unexplored by humanity on Earth, one of the most mysterious and terrifying is the deep, deep layers of the ocean. This is a place inhabited by creatures that create their own light, withstand atmospheres of pressure, and of course most of which we know very little about. There's plenty of crazy critters down there to be astounded and interested by, so today we're counting down the top 12. Number 12, zombie worms. Possibly one of the more cool-sounding deep-sea terrors on this list, these odd little creatures are worms that feed off of dead whale carcasses. Only around 4 centimeters long each, these worms secrete an acid that breaks down bones and then use bacteria to digest whale fat and absorb nutrients. Quite an odd little pack of creatures that are probably quite terrifying to think about if you're a whale. Number 11, giant spider crabs. Ever think crabs are creepy? If not, maybe spiders? If you answered yes to either of those questions, then this entry might make you squirm a little bit. The largest crab on Earth lives 1,000 feet below sea level and are known as giant spider crabs for obvious reasons. They're also known as Japanese spider crabs due to their close proximity to Japan, and how large they can get will probably make a few people uncomfortable. Because of the longness of their appendages, they have quite a reach, and their claws can actually cause you some serious harm. Number 10, anglerfish. The anglerfish is probably the classic fish you think of when you imagine a deep-sea creature. Like many deep-sea creatures, anglerfish use a process called bioluminescence to create their own light, and actually use this little light on top of a kind of fishing pole that they have as their primary form of gathering food. They sort of bait other fish in with their light and then use their large gaping mouths and sharp teeth to inhale themselves a nice tasty snack. A fun little fact is it's only the females who do this, as the males have no fishing pole appendage to bait their own prey. Number 9, basking shark. Because the basking shark is the second largest shark on Earth, only behind the whale shark, you might think they have a taste for whatever their gaping mouths can catch, whether it's fish, shrimp, squids, or what have you. However, one of the few things we know about this species is their favorite food is actually zooplankton, tiny little creatures that are typically found near the water's surface. They aren't actually hostile to humans or boats at all, but they're still a beast unlike any other, and the fact that they look quite terrifying and could very easily swallow you in a single gulp is a little bit unsettling. Number 8, sea pigs. Although they might not be as terrifying as some of the other entries on this list, sea pigs, which are a type of sea cucumber, make up our 8th spot. They're typically only 4 to 6 inches long and live on the ocean floor scavenging for sustenance. One thing that makes sea pigs somewhat interesting, though, is scientists have actually known about them for more than 100 years, much longer than many of these other deep-sea terrors. Number 7, stoplight loosejaw. The stoplight loosejaw is a very cool and somewhat horrifying deep-sea creature. The way it got its name is the jaw that it has, which can almost dislocate, throwing it forward to grab at prey. Like most other deep-sea creatures, the stoplight uses bioluminescence to create its own light to find prey and communicate with other loosejaw. But it actually has something a bit unusual about its own light. Almost every deep-sea creature creates blue light with bioluminescence, and most of the other deep-sea creatures out there have evolved to tune into and get used to blue light. The stoplight loosejaw, on the other hand, though, creates a red light which doesn't travel quite as far as blue light in the ocean's depths, but because no other fish is accustomed to red light, the stoplight loosejaw is the only fish that can see it, giving it a private way of communication and a private source of light. Number 6, marine hatchetfish. Marine hatchetfish are the next creatures on this list and are a bit unusual as they're quite skittish fish who are only a few steps above the lowest of the low on the food chain. They get their name from their hatchet-shaped bodies, and like many other creatures from the ocean's depths, not that much is known about them. Their look, however, is some of the more terrifying of the creatures down there and may send some shivers down your spine, earning them a spot on this list. Number 5, Colossal Squid. Growing in lengths as long as 14 meters, these giant beasts make this list simply because of their size, as they're the largest squid species on Earth. Something straight out of mythology, these creatures' only predator is the sperm whale, and they're famous for battling each other underneath the water's depths. Typically, we only get to find these creatures' carcasses along with their wounds of their battles, but in 2007, authorities in New Zealand caught the largest known colossal squid, and it's currently on display. Number 4, the snipe eel. The snipe eel is an incredibly slender fish that often spends its time in the depths swimming around with its mouth open. It searches for prey, and when finding something to munch on, it will close its sort of beak around it and then use it to swallow it whole. A somewhat terrifying end. They've only been known to eat small shrimp-like crustaceans, though some experts believe they're capable of catching and eating small fish as well. Another creature that's developed an unconventional way of catching prey underneath the water. Number 3, Frilled Shark. A classic entry on this list, the frilled shark is one of the most widely known, creepy, and terrifying deep-sea creatures. Described as a living fossil by many experts, this shark slithers like a snake, bending its body and lunging at targets as it swallows them whole. The sharks have 3 sets of pointed teeth just to intimidate you and show that he can chew you if need be, but are actually rarely seen and are only ever found when fishermen accidentally catch them during deep-sea fishing, leading some to worry their population might be dwindling. Number 2, gulper eel. The gulper eel is an order of unusual ray-finned fish superficially similar to eels but with multiple creepy differences. Most of these fish live exclusively in the deep sea and only a handful of types are known to us because of it. They're one of the most bizarre and creepy looking animals of the depths though, with gigantic mouths akin to something like a pelican's beak. These enlarged jaws along with their stretchy stomachs and bodies allow them to swallow prey as large as they are whole, something that will honestly haunt my dreams. And the number 1 spot on this list goes to Goblin Sharks. Goblin Sharks are maybe some of the most terrifying creatures that live in the ocean's depths. The sort of snout that they have jutting from their face is used to detect electronic waves sent through the ocean from their prey. This long snout, along with their creepy mouth, is what obviously earned them the name Goblin Sharks, and are made even more creepy by the way that they can detach their jaw to help them grab prey. Another terrifying beast that just goes to show how cool and weird the deep sea can get. That's all for today's top 12. Leave a comment if there's a fish you guys think I left out. I will of course see you all in the next video, but until then, have a wonderful